Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special edition of Boring Enterprise Nerds Show and Tell. Your host is myself, Elena Perfileva. As always, my partner in crime, Paul Moderman, is here. And our super special guest today is Alice Vinogradova. So, Alice, why don't you introduce yourself briefly and just talk about your kind of origin story?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So yeah, we met with Paul on Tech Ed recently, not
Oh,
yet
yeah.
with you in person, but yeah, I'm a long time fan of yours, Yelena.
Yay.
Remember your book, like what on earth is iDoc? So it was like that was like really fun and compact and
Oh,
nice
thank
book.
you.
So
Awesome.
so yeah, kind of knew you like from long ago, and that was my first book that I paid actually online, like
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
Amazon. Yeah,
mm,
I bought it on Amazon, so that was the first like paid book. So yeah, that's
awesome.
kind of
So that's
another.
so that's a sound endorsement, guys. Go and
Yeah.
yeah.
go and buy
I actually
buy our books.
Guys, watch the sales skyrocket right there.
Skyrocket.
yes. So yeah, and yeah, I work in Microsoft for probably 3 years before I kind of start working here. I didn't know actually that Microsoft using SAP, and it was like a kind of surprise that they actually do this. Yes, and I started to kind of to program probably when I was 7 or 8, and that was, of course, not
Oh,
on the computer, but on the paper, because my dad gave me a book called like uh, computer literacy in applications or something like that. It was translated a book from
mm,
Mhm,
US
mhm.
like licensed and stuff. So there were some examples usually for some computers like TRS 80 and stuff, which I never seen, but yeah, like tried
oh.
my first program was in the lab, not the laptop, but in the notebook, like the physical notebook, like, on
And then
paper.
did you just like read it and go, runtime error like that or something like
No, I actually gave it to my uncle who had access to computers, and then after a week, he like, no, there is an error. I'm like,
that?
okay, I
Mhm,
have to rewrite it. So yeah, and then my first computer was a ZX Spectrum compatible computer, which is like something like that, and then assembler and stuff, and I end up here in SAP. So that's why that's why
Oh, that's quite a detour, I would say.
well,
mhm.
I mean, I really love your kind of name, and I believe that we have to entertain ourselves, not to die from boredom in this
Right,
enterprise world.
right,
So,
right on.
100%.
Yeah.
so, 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 and it's good that we have some time to do that and to maybe energy to do that. And yeah,
Awesome.
recently I started to share my kind of work and tools, because that's kind of my way to contribute back to open source community, because I for a long time I was using a lot of cool modules that I remember from 2000s, like Parasite module
Mm,
that was made for export to Excel, and Bijuka is another guy who did a lot of stuff for um, some template based export. So it's like really cool to kind of give some back. So basically, what I'm doing, I'm automating my work, and as kind of side product of that, I have some tools, which is nice to share. And and having my background with this 8-bit computers, I keeping an eye on how can I uh, do some interesting stuff. And recently with Claude. it became possible to bring some really bizarre ideas that was on pause for 10 years or maybe more. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what if I could do the sound engine in ABAP or like something like that? And now
Oh my
it's
gosh, there's just this is one of I'm just gonna go on a soapbox for like 2 minutes, guys. I'm sorry.
yeah,
This is
Uh-oh.
one of the reasons I love the like the AI revolution of the last few years is because every time in the past I'd have this kooky idea like I can remember when I worked at Cargill when I first started learning to do ABAP. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny? That'd be funny. Wouldn't be possible, but it would be funny if I could like read a program and then compose a sonata for that program based on like the semantic content of the things. And I was like, haha, that'd be funny, whatever. Post it in my brain, who cares? Right? And then like last year, no, this year, in like March or April, like I glued together the pieces to do that. Like I have somewhere in like my dustbin, there's like a thing that'll like read an ABAP report program, pluck out some like some different semantic pieces, and then use a music library to compose a little song about that program. It doesn't mean anything for the world. Like who cares? Except the thing was that like it was the kooky idea in my head that I have the chance now to just like burp into existence from that.
yes.
That's the
The-
and so so Alice, when I see the ZX and all this other stuff that you put into this app GUI and these things in the projects, I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect for like the little post-it notes that you're like, oh, that'd be funny, whatever, and you like put it over here, who cares? Now you can just like do it, and it can just happen.
Yes,
Anyway, okay,
yeah,
I'm off my
that
soapbox.
that
Off my
that that
soapbox.
that is how they call it, like closing Gestalt or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Like there's the Gestalt therapy, and you kind of
Mhm.
closing the Gestalt. So yeah, Claude is the best. Claude Code actually is the best tool for closing all your
Yeah.
Gestalt that you had ever. So yeah, that's exactly, and I can kind of agree to that because if in the past you could say, "Oh, that's a nice idea," oh, but even make a POC would take a couple of weeks, and during this couple of weeks, I will just forget about it. And now you don't have an excuse to not to create
Just do it.
POC.
Just do it.
It
Uh,
will be ready in a couple of hours, and like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Yeah,
Mhm.
yes. So and yeah, since we started to talk about Claude, one of the first kind of interesting contributions to this uh, LinkedIn or SAP space was this MCP to OData bridge, which was
mm,
released probably in June or July, and that was really kind of really simple idea because OData has a lot of metadata which explains how and how data is constructed and
mm,
what entities are
mm,
there, and it could like ideally map to MCP, and it took a couple of probably days to create the first prototype, and then I was like really blown away. All these specialized copilots that I could see were developed during for some different modules, like that they are not needed anymore because with this small tool, with this small bridge, you can kind of, as they call, bridge the gap. So yeah, to poke this stuff. And yeah, and immediately, yeah, the idea was, what if we create a small OData service that will allow us to edit ABAP code, for example. And that was another week of experiments,
mm,
but eventually it became easier and more kind of native to create a bridge from MCP to ADT,
mm.
especially
Mm.
on top of the uh, Marcello Urbani library. So and right now I cannot stop doing some weird things. And yeah, so one of the weird things, speaking of that, have you seen the Vivid Vibes demo, the first demo ever for SAP ABAP, for SAP ABAP.
No.
But first stupid question. What kind of computer did you have? Like Paul, Yelena, like Commodore 64, Amiga,
Oh,
PC or stuff?
so
That's the demo scene and what?
I so okay, so I'll go first. I'm just
Uh,
jumping in, Yelena. I'm just jumping in.
Sure.
My first computer, I was 15 when my parents bought. It was a Pentium, by the way, guys. This is like serious business. It was already a Pentium before
oh,
I touched a computer,
oh,
essentially, right? Um, uh, and I mostly the most I did with that computer was between the ages of 15 and 18 when I lived at home. I just like installed Doom and played Doom a lot, and that was pretty much it. I didn't really get what was going on. I didn't really grasp it. And then when I was in college, I was doing like other things in college. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, like at all, at all. I did so many different things in college. And finally, when I was like getting to the end of college, um, I was really bored with the classes I had to take to like finish the requirements for the thing, and so I just picked up a book of C and I taught myself C. And I was like, "Oh, this is really fucking cool. Holy cow." Um, and then I still didn't kind of get it in terms of like you're allowed to do this as a career, you know what I mean? So I still did like a couple
they
other things first
even
for
pay for that.
Hey, you guys are gonna pay me to wreck a program? That's crazy. But so it took me a couple more years to figure out that I could get paid to do that kind of stuff. But that was me. So my first computer was a Pentium something or other for that in the basement. Yeah, Yelena,
So,
please.
yeah, so parenting advice I got so far. So either you get your child a notebook, or you install Doom, and then it just it takes off from there. So I'm old, so my first computer was Abacus, probably. But then, I mean, also, don't just forget about Abacus. Had like some really good use cases as well. But first, what would probably classify as computer of sorts was actually um calculator that was like programming features,
Oh yeah.
which was like, it was back in like late 80s. So I was like a hot shot at school because everyone was doing those calculations like losers, but I looked at the pattern, and instead I like, okay, there is clearly pattern, so I can just repeat this, like, and write, like, it was faster to write small program for the calculator than just sitting there punching numbers myself. So it's like, oh, there you go, and like boom, 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 the whole graph is written, which was just mind blowing to, I think, some teachers. Maybe they wasn't sure whether they should take this like away from me or encourage it. I think they were just terribly confused what to do with this technology. Not unlike situation with AI. So tools change, but confusion remains. What to do? Is it take it away or do more of it? Like what do we do now? But then my dad brought home one of those first Soviet personal computers,
Mm.
Electronica something something, which had like keyboard. Wasn't like keys like we're used to now. It was like a film. Like, I have something like this on my oven right now, where I set the temperature. You have
Oh,
like the
oh
buttons, but they're
yeah,
not like separate keys. It's like a like, I don't know, like sort of film or something, and there are
yeah.
buttons underneath it. So it was total just terrible type of keyboard. But and of course, like with all the earlier computers, there wasn't any like computer per se. You had to use like cassette player, and you had to use TV as your display, as your monitor.
Mm.
So that was the first like personal computer experience. But then I just kind of grew up with PCs when it was still XT. So then it was 80, and yeah, 286, 386, and then I just yeah, then I reached the Pentium stage. So So yeah, it's just started a little bit earlier, but yeah, thank you for question. Interesting kind of excursion into the history. All right, but back on track. So we are here to see something that Alex is supposed to show us and maybe tell a little bit about it. So fast forward to modern days. So
Uh-huh.
Alice, what would you like to share with us and with
What
viewers?
if we, do it's like if you have not yet seen that, we can do the reaction video, as they,
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
let's do
let's
it.
go.
Okay, here we go. Audio incoming. Vivid vibes.
It will play some.
Nice. Ah, very businessy. Good. I like that. Roto zoom. I mean, come on. This is advanced. And voxels. I mean, we're going. Where's the Minecraft portion of this, right? Whoa, tesseracts.
It's like average 90s music video.
We got the S4 upgrade in there. Good, good. I dig that. I dig that. Sierpinski, nice. I kind of just want to go to the club now and like maybe take some E and just do some fun stuff at the club.
Just read this meatball, so I'm like,
And now I'm hungry.
All the old school kind of effects that can be found. And this outro. Oh, if you haven't seen, yes. Read that line.
It's going to Scott Hanselman.
Hey.
Hey, look! Hey, look! We're on the
we're
thing.
famous.
You guys, we're so famous. This is so cool. Shout out to
Yeah,
Hoger.
so basically, yes.
The person, yeah.
Basically, that's one of the things that I thought that was kind of impossible, but it took me a couple of days, and here it is. So yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If Claude with couple of kind of guidelines can do this, it should be capable of fixing your old code and moving it
I mean,
from
yeah.
ERP to
If
whatever.
Claude can do this, then a short dump when you forgot to initialize a thing ain't no thing. That's nothing
Yes.
compared to this. Yeah,
So
yeah,
just a little bit perspective for viewers who might be kind of not in the loop of what all of this is like. What what the hell did we just watch?
Yeah, so
Like,
when I ask what was your first computer and stuff, if you would say like Commodore 64
Mhm,
or
hmm
Amiga,
hmm
you would probably kind of meet this demoscene thing. And
mhm,
on PC, you might have heard of Future Crew and the demo, very, very famous one. It was Second Reality. It was released in 91
yeah.
or 93, something like that. So basically, I would say that demo making, and maybe you have heard some um, terms like 4K intro, 64K intro, and something like that. So I would say that demo making is the first um, uh, kind of new art form that was born with computers, because music was before computers, games
hmm
before
Mhm,
computers, and video and all the effects was before computers. But here, what you will do, you algorithmically create shapes and graphics and music and combine this all together and do this. So it's like all programmable. Of course, in ABAP, you don't have any way to kind of to show this in SubGUI or something like that. So this thing is working through the APC, which is ABAP push channels, which is creating the web socket. So it is rendering uh, all the frames one by one and sending into the JavaScript, which is just showing this frames on the canvas and using sometimes even WebGL. So basically, we calculating that this square with this color should be shown here and this round thing here, and we just doing
hmm
stuff,
hmm
and this is how it's done. Well, uh, someone would say, "Oh, it's not fair. You're using JavaScript here." Well, we could probably compile the whole video kind of stream there in ABAP, but it would be saved, as I don't know, something on 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 server, and we would not be able to see it anyway. So
hmm
like that, yeah.
Okay, so this is cool. And I don't know whether you wanted to show some other things too, but I wanted to for the listeners and the viewers out there, as you're doing this and the other projects that you've done with, combining the old school and the new school and combining um like mashing up SAP stuff with AI stuff and just in general, like what is your like what's your development flow or process when you do this stuff? Like, what tools are you having open? How are you sort of working through these things as you do this?
Yes, probably you know the answer because you uh, same thing, and this is basically the
Yeah.
the 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 ultimate answer right now for any code related stuff, which is like Claude is the
hmm
best at coding,
hmm
and the best tool for doing this is Claude Code CLI, which is a terminal version of that, and I'm not sure, but it was probably the first terminal. So before Claude
I
Code, it
think
was
I th
all in. They tried to incorporate this into VS Code. It was either a separate version of VS Code in Cursor and Windsurf, but Claude Code was the first who did it. Like, you don't need the rest. This is
yeah.
so you start from this, and yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's good that it works under Linux, Mac, and
Yeah.
as far as I know as well. So, and it is in NPM. So, I mean, Node.js. I mean, JavaScript, or you got it. So it will work everywhere. And basically, that's uh, I know that recently they added a lot of cool stuff like skills and other stuff, but right now I'm using on MCP servers.
Mm-hmm.
One of which was uh, f- uh, like MCP to data to ground
Mm-hmm.
it to the real SAP state of the system, and
So
nowadays
actually,
it's
actually, Alice,
MCP to ADT.
let me, let me, for again, for our listeners and viewers who maybe have like varying levels of, expertise on this, that, or whatever. Like, and Yelena, I'm not sure whether you yourself, you're a little bit less of a Kool-Aid drinker than I am. Um, uh, when give us the give us the Alice version of, hey, what is MCP? What does that mean?
Yeah, MCP was, as far as I remember, presented almost a year ago, maybe slightly more, and that was, as you remember, when OpenAI and others were giving the API to all their latest models. The coolest part was at some point not just getting the answer from the like text answer from the LLM, but also giving it the ability to call tools. At first they call it functions, but then they call it tools. And
Hmm. Hmm.
basically, when all these agentic things like emerges, the basically you giving some tools to the LLM, and all of this was like really kind of too verbose, and there was several different ways to do that, and all of them were manual or something like that. And
Yeah, yeah.
MCP is like abstraction and unification of giving any agent that is capable of doing something, any like a set of tools, basically, and then
Mm,
they inject it in the context. And uh, when we have a MCP, the first one was actually, as far as I remember, the first MCP that I used is to give Claude desktop access to my disk, so it could check the text files and read some notes and
hmm.
get
Hmm.
this like build the context and then produce something like reports on top of it, like, oh, check all my notes for 2 weeks and suggest what should I
Yeah,
the next one. And so there, yes. So yeah,
yeah.
that's
Um,
how AI is like taking over. It is saying what to do next.
um, the MCP, 'cause I can remember that too when I it was last November that they dropped it out there, and I don't know, probably similarly to you, Alice. Like the first thing I did was hook up ADT to MCP and be like, write me a program and like debug and fix it and make it work. Don't just like vomit text at me. Like actually do the thing inside SAP, right? Um, and I remember I was given a talk, like I'm some kind of professor or whatever. But like I was doing something for a customer, and I had this up on the video screen. I have a video of me doing this talk somewhere too. Um, and I did all this like, hey, here's what a token is. Here's what context is. All this kind of good stuff. Here's what RAG is. All this kind of stuff. And then at the very end, as people were leaving, I was like, oh hey, by the way, like this is MCP. It just came out, and this is kind of like an interesting way to do this. And all of a sudden, everyone went from like I don't care to like oh now that makes sense to me, right? That was like I think for a lot of people, MCP was the thing that sort of made like conceptual sense as like a oh, this is how I can use this as a tool and not just like barfing code at me, right? Or barfing text at me, whatever that might be. Um, so yeah, so I fully with you on the uh, let's see, make tools better to use in or easier to use, I should say, in LLM slash AI slash however you want to term that stuff for the world. Yeah, yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw this. I had Claude write this while we were talking. This was the great terminal escape.
Uh-huh.
And this was I just had Claude. I just executed the program that Claude wrote, and I had it write a little story about escaping the terminal. But that was kind of the thing about this is of course to sort of support Alice's like for the watchers or the viewers of this here and Claude Code is like probably the main tool in use for doing the amazing things that Alice has been doing in open source land over the last year or so. Yeah, but I'm sorry, I don't want to like interrupt your flow, but I want to make sure we get the
Yeah,
terminology
yeah,
out to our watchers there. Yeah. Um,
that's the tool. Yeah. And
yeah.
yeah, my next question to you, do you use anything like specific in this? Because I know that there's like super Claude, which is like meta prompting on top of the Claude that will
Oh,
create some uh, template
mm.
projects, whatever, or some skills that will do that. There is also another. I have heard another episode of the guy who kind of was telling that he turned the cloud code into live OS. Basically,
Oh
with
yeah,
some
I saw
with
that.
some MCP servers, it can get access to mail, calendar, and stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
Wow.
everything, like uh, all the nodes, arrange this,
yeah,
check,
yeah.
whatever. Do you use this kind of for something like that, or
So I have only I use it. So the Claude also has a desktop app or a web app. I use the desktop version of the Claude app, um, not the terminal thing. And occasionally there, I connect a little either a self-written or a community MCP out to like calendar or email and like maybe check some emails that way or whatever. But in Claude Code specifically, I really only do find an MCP or find a skill will help me do whatever I'm kind of poking at that in that moment and just plug it in and use it. And I think my favorite thing in Cloud Code at the moment is um, because like I'm sort of dual mind in terms of the like should I just like let go and let vibe or should I like kind of watch things happen a little bit, right? And so
micromanaging?
yeah, yeah. So I bounce back and forth because sometimes when I'm vibing, I still want to kind of understand what happened, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't care. Like with this thing I just did here, like I don't care about the code at all. I was just doing it to show people the stuff, so I don't care about the code at all. But if I'm doing something a little more focused, like I want to understand the code so I can like feel like I can like help people with because I use it. I use Cloud Code all the time to work on like real products for things. And so it has plan mode where Claude will write plans for you and show you the plans. And then you can sort of approve and go through that. And for me, at least, I use planning mode a lot to show me the map. Okay, now go walk it. I understand what you're going to do. Let's do that. Right. Um, uh, I also at times I will open up like a Gemini CLI uh, kind of over here and just launch them both at the same problem and see who comes up with a cooler plan and then just follow that. Or I'll launch up a separate Claude or two or three Claude codes and give them all the same problem and just see who wins with the coolest implementation and then just follow that, right? This is because this I think is it's the like it's very cheap now to test your idea 10 ways or 100 ways
Yeah.
or whatever. And so like the stochastic nature of the LLMs means you might not get the coolest thing on your first try, but just try again, you know? Um yeah, anyway, I don't want to jabber away against your show and tell time, Alice. Please forgive me
No,
for going on
well,
about this.
you
No.
know this famous prompt. Please do the best thing. Don't do mistakes. Go. Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that I remember that I started to do like maybe almost from the beginning is that when you do things iteratively, you want to keep track of things. And one of the ways to do that, I have usually a folder called reports, and asking to document whatever you have done, and like what are our achievements and stuff in this year,
I've seen
months, day, and
I've seen those in your code. Yeah.
yeah, and like you can just time travel what the hell has happened, because eventually the context will kind of evaporate away, and this will be kind of used as condensed knowledge on what has happened, what we're going to do, and it is actually really interesting to read. Like create a report on what we have done, and like, oh yeah, and I go to GitHub and like create, oh nice, what have we have done. And I was kind of one of the like prompters to do that, actually, so I initiated that. So that's kind
The
of
here we go, guys. Just so you can see what Alice is talking about. Um, Reports on what Claude is up to, right? So these are committed into the code base of, in this case, I'm looking at the Vibing Steampunk repo, one of my favorite in the world right now. Um, uh, and this is really cool because this is Claude sort of writing up its like work assignment and work results into the code base or into wherever you want to put it, right? Maybe it's code base, maybe it's not, but it's that way for you. It's like a more advanced and formal way of doing kind of that plan thing I was talking about, where you're sort of like you got to feel you want to feel like you're swimming along with Claude, and not that Claude is just like a shark that swam away and you don't know where the shark is going, right? Um, and so all these great notes and all these great information comes as Claude is doing the implementation of that feature, whatever it might be, and giving you the lowdown, the skinny, the scoop, the story on what's going on. Super super cool stuff. Um, so Alice, let me ask you this. Outside, do you still use for like when you're vibing along and you're doing like ABAP related stuff, right? If you're not doing something else, you're doing like ABAP related stuff. What is like how how tight or how loose is your like follow along guide Claude, guide the AI loop? Like do you just like Claude take the wheel, or do you sort of do like a chunk and review it, a chunk and review it, a chunk and review it? Like what's your style with that side of things? And how do you do the reviews? So if you do the reviews, how do you do those? Do you use Eclipse? Do you like review, look at the code itself in the terminal? Like, what do you do for that stuff?
so I like to um well, usually I know what I want to get. It,
Hmm. Yeah.
it should be some kind of class or some
Hmm.
kind of module that could doing this and that. And maybe I could also start with the tests that Claude can create to make sure that it kind of meet the results. Because
Hmm.
I have had a couple of times that uh, Claude might tell, "Oh, it's done, it's working," and we're like, Where? Oh, you're right. Sorry, it's not yet there." I was just, yeah, it was like maybe half of a year ago, and since then it is improved really kind of a lot. But still, this feeling,
Every now and again.
yeah,
Yeah.
like let's like trust, uh, but check.
Yeah, trust
So
but
Hmm. Yeah.
verify. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, trust but verify. So basically, I would start with some kind of description, what I would expect to see as the final result, to have some tests around that, and maybe sometimes, especially before ADT MCP bridge was created, it would be easier to create some API to expose something from ABAP to outside, so it could test it interactively, not
Hmm.
asking me like go there
Yeah.
and now test it, like, and you copy and paste, like, do it yourself. You can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the OData endpoint, so it can be done. So, and yes, if it is, so sometimes yes, you can say like, okay, maybe there is a better way, like, and I'll also have this. Let me also type it into the chat. On iPhones and on Macs, you can type some text and create a uh, auto substitution. So if I type PPP, it will be like praise, criticize, ruminate, iterate, improve. And
Mm.
basically, that was my favorite prompt for a couple of times, because we come up with some ideas and plan or something, like, it looks good, but beep beep beep, like, and now it's even better. And then you take
Mm.
this and send to Gemini, and from Gemini to Claude, and from Claude to ChatGPT, and like, okay,
Mm.
okay, nice, nice,
Mm.
nice. Okay, now you guys agree on what is the best thing.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and they're like, oh, this is nice. And, okay, and you're like, oh, my nice. Yes.
I like how they all think that they are brilliant. Like you'll
Yes.
you'll show you'll show Claude something from Gemini and Claude will be like, "Wow, that's really good. What a great idea." There's
Yeah,
often
yeah, yeah.
often there's the little sentence like of like, "That's a good thought," and then it will go on and like do some more things. I
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
a very large language model accent right now that they
yeah.
have with
Yes.
each other.
Yes.
So
Um,
basically, it's a stupid question from my abacus generation. Um, so one of the main problems I would say with ABAP development that always had been there, that's still there, is actually making it do stuff like with standard SAP functionality. I mean, it's not really big deal to get like very simple ALV report or something, just display data. But the biggest problem comes when, oh, we need to post something or we need to update something. And for that, usually need to do some kind of standard SAP stuff. And that is where I think all the non-SAP solutions usually fail miserably with varying degrees of misery, where they either just hallucinate some stuff or they never tell you, oh, I don't know, like it cannot be done. They would just give you some kind of class that does not exist, or in the best case, it would be something that's just not good. Maybe that's a way to do that, but that's not really the best way to do that. Does any of this can help with this or not? So what's the situation on this front?
So for myself, I actually ended up doing not much of the actual ABAP development to actually do things for
Mm,
work, but to create tools that I
okay.
can rely on to do that work. Because
Mm,
I would say that I still code ABAP for work
mm-hmm,
for Microsoft without any kind of code and stuff, because it's like it is
mm,
not possible to connect, and because it's a violation of
mm,
the security and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
mm,
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
everything I would do some tools in my own system, then test it and can kind of rely on it, and maybe then I could these tools like in some
Mm,
other systems. So what I did, and that was one of the first insights or enlightenment or whatever, maybe August 2023, that when this Copilot has was and we got the really cool after completion, which was like really smart finally, and I
Mhm.
wanted to have the same thing in ABAP. So what I did, I kind of created this ABAP Copilot, which was in SE80. But
mm,
Mm.
immediately I could understand that GPT-4 doesn't know much,
yeah.
3.5 at that time of ABAP, and there is no much context. So it's like hallucination. So
Yeah.
I could see two ways to improve that. To teach the model to know about more, and the next thing is to inject more information on the surrounding of that class, because you rarely start from the blank screen when you do ABAP. And when you do ABAP, like something above, something below, and it would be some definitions, and definition would be related or would be referencing some dictionary thing. And if we referencing Mara, we immediately know that it's about materials, and so you can get a lot of business context from that. And so, okay, so if we know that, we knew this, how about we create a good data set to fine tune something to model, to understand about. So the next kind of insight and thing was, why would we, well, to have a good data set, you have to have a nice high quality explanation. This is the program, this is what it's doing, like, you won't do this manually. And then like, okay, LLMs are really good at explanation stuff. Maybe it's not good at writing about, but it was like even 2 years ago, it was amazing to in understanding about, because it's like a programming language. You can differentiate like equality from like
assignment,
from assignment, from something like that, and you can get a lot of data from this. So that was the first iteration. So the first tool I did is like, what if we take pieces of ABAP code and then do the explanation and then reverse like that, and we'll do the fine tuning. So basically, the first idea was, what if we will recreate the what do you call it, tech spec from the code? But since the program would long, it would lose all the context, so it was not a great thing. But it was really cool, because with this first approach, I fine-tuned Llama 2, as far as I remember, in August 2023, and from zero it was to something. Because before this fine-tuning, it was saying, go to if I ask like, can you develop me an ABAP report, like, well, here's how you can do this, go do it yourself, or something like that. But after fine-tuning, it was like, okay, here's the like something. It was like slightly weird and old-fashioned, but it was something. So it proved that it's possible. And then so basically two things was in parallel: improving the context for the model, and with the next model, it was I started from 32K, so I had to slice it and compress it and then reassemble that. But after that was 100K, and eventually 1 million, and like, now everything will fit. You don't have to even think about that. So, what was the question? No.
Question, but so
the tool.
using
So
standard
basically,
SAP functionality to do stuff, and using
so
AI to help developers with that.
Yeah, and I know that usually the most of the time, like a bapper would spend in understanding, not writing the code, but understanding legacy code and saying, who the hell written that? And then you see it was you 2 years ago, like, okay. So something like that. And the next tool was to actually kind of understand all the connections between the code and do this stuff. And that's how like internal tool X-ray was created. So basically, really, really simple idea. We have this cross table, which is like referencing everything inside function models and stuff. Basically, were used functionality, and W cross B or something, WB cross GT for classes. So you can trace it down, trace up, and check if it is crossing the boundaries of packages or not, and like create nice graph. And when you have a graph, you can traverse the graph up, down, like left, right, and whatever. And this is how you can infer the impact analysis or something like you change something here and you see like boom 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 and something like it will influence something like far away. And also from here we can check how it is connected to customization tables and stuff. So this was my kind of inspiration thing to actually make sense of what the hell is there, and this is how it can be refactored or something like that. And I believe with AI right now, refactoring would be very kind of nice and easy to resolve thing, because especially with correct tools, when you treat the code not as a text but as a syntax tree or some kind of formal thing with inputs and outputs, so you can mock it and stuff. And when you do this, you can generate all the test cases. And if you can debug or call this code with some parameters and trace it during the actual execution, you can have like a static analysis map and then the actual trace map, and then see with these parameters go to that logic and with this to that. And then so all the RCA analysis, root cause analysis, becoming really, really
Possible, powerful, yeah.
Trivial and possible.
Trivial, yeah.
So basically, that is my kind of thing. Because to be honest, I have not yet solved any useful things with this. The only tools that help me to do the profiling and understanding of the actual stuff that is there.
The tools are important.
Yeah. So Yelena, actually, to further connect Alice to the answer to your question, or a possible answer to your question, is this is the vibing steampunk repository that Alice is dropping out there. And part of the answer to your question about like, well, how do we get the AI to know about like the things it needs to know about like your system or your whatever is the tools that are available in something like this. So this is basically like a relatively large set of tools that are exposed to Claude or whoever, Claude or GPT or Gemini or whatever. And then when the AI these days is smart enough to know that it should probe something more deeply when it's like writing code or reading code or whatever. And so when the AI has a set of tools that it can choose from, and those tools actually can like crack open your system, that's when it goes from like, I think this might work, I don't know, here's some code, to like, no, I checked. I found your Z function that does this, and I checked the parameters, I checked the whatever here. This code, I'm much more confident that this code can work. And if you want to, I can actually test the code myself, right, or whatever, and get you from the like fuzzy, I think it's there, to like, no, I looked at your system, and here's what you have, and this is like this code runs. I mean, you still got to check it. You still got to make sure it does what you need it to do. But it will go so much further when it has the ability to like open the hood on your system and look at that. And that's what these tools do for the AI, is let the AI like peek into your system to check its references, to trust but verify itself, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
So anyway,
one of the
killer repo here, guys, too. Like, check this out, by the way. More plugs for Alice's work here. Killer repo here. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I used that thing on on that LLM library, which is like some library, maybe we can call it like LangChain Lite for ABAP or something like that. So it's a library to actually access some LLMs and do steps and flows and combine them and get results like repeatedly and reproduce results, and maybe with some caching yeah, that's one of the other things, because I was paying for my LLMs. I really quickly realized that, oh, why would you do this the same prompt again and again? So let's introduce caching, let's introduce slicing, let's this is the good part of it. So yeah, so what I did is that ZLLM tool kind of documented itself, basically.
Mm.
It was reading the code, to creating the stuff, and with help of AI, I actually quite fast I implemented the converter from Markdown into the standard documentation format for SAP, because it's like quite weird. SE71, if you remember subscript, this type of
Yeah.
thing, it supports like some levels of lists, but with this, it was possible to convert from Markdown to that, and there is a button to kind of push documentation into standard, and no one expects to see documentation actually on that button. So yeah, this is really cool to have documentation up and live and up to date in production or whatever. So that can be actually a step in release management or transport
Mm.
release
Yeah.
thing, so it
Yeah.
can re-update this if it's needed. So that's that was done here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome.
and I
Yeah,
hope
and
we can
yeah.
improve this thing.
Yeah, and we will put links to all of this in the video description. Awesome, guys. So we've been going on for a while. I think it's a good point to wrap up. Any famous famous last words, any messages for ABAP developers out
May I
there
ask
who are
actually
kind of
important stuff from you guys? Because
Yeah, do it.
the most important thing is like, what keyboard do you use? Like, is it mechanical, or is
This is just the bog standard
like
Mac
this?
keyboard. Yeah.
Oh, that's
just
the best.
whatever came with my laptop. I actually I use just laptop because it's
Oh,
mobile. Like literally, I can pick it up and walk to the kitchen or something while on the
This
phone.
is
Like,
this is one of
pay
wow.
my favorite
attention,
things is when
guys.
Yelena is talking and she's like, "Oh, I need to check the bread," and she'll
Yeah.
just pick up the laptop and go check the bread in the
Famous
oven.
for checking the bread these days.
Oh, so you kind of baking your own bread?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And as you know,
Cool.
bread making is unpredictable. You are not on. It bread doesn't follow your schedule. It doesn't care about your
Oh,
schedule. It's ready when it's
okay,
ready.
right.
It doesn't care if you have a meeting. But it's like, yeah. So I need something mobile, to walk with to the kitchen if I have to.
I don't know why
But
that's so funny to me, but
yeah.
it's so funny.
Awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
yeah,
that is
great to
most
have some.
important. That is most
Yeah.
important question, and so yeah, we can wrap up probably. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right. So on that fun note, all right. So thank you so much, Alice, for joining us today, and thank you to everyone who endured the full hour of talking about AI stuff. Hope everyone was at least entertained and learned something today. And please feel free to reach out to Alice, with any questions. I'm sure she's available on LinkedIn and all the other channels. And yeah, read her articles. There's definitely lots of interesting content. And yeah, and watch for more videos to come. I'm sure 2026 will bring us lots more exciting AI content. All right, thank you everyone, and that's it for today. Like and subscribe as usual, and we'll see you next time. Thank you
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Take care.
Bye.